Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Stories with Ori. You know, folks, today I want to discuss with you navigating the legal system. Now, because of Diddy and everybody's talking about Diddy's case, what could happen, what's going to happen, will he be found guilty, will he be found not guilty, will they use this piece of discovery at his trial, how do they select jurors? Folks, for some reason, I don't know how it ever happened, part of me being a Hollywood fixer, I had to deal with a lot of lawyers in my lifetime. So I understand the law. And then particularly when I got indicted 3 times, I was studying, I was going to the law library and studying the laws on what I was being indicted for. So I learned the law. I'm not a lawyer, but I understand the law. I understand how to navigate the law. Now, folks, if you like the content I'm giving you, please subscribe, like, comment. All those things help. Even hit that thanks button if you really appreciate what I do. I appreciate coming here and giving you folks information. So let's talk about the legal system. We'll begin a little bit about Diddy, but okay? Right now, the main piece of discovery they're really arguing, the use. I don't think Diddy's defense is going to win, okay? But it's going to be that video of him beating Cassie, all right? And then he's going to have numerous people testifying against him. Numerous people. I don't even want to put a number on it. I don't know how many it's going to be. But it's not going to be a trial that's going to be a week or two. It's going to be longer. And thus far, from what I know, they have not offered Diddy any plea deal. Now, I don't think Diddy's the type of guy that would accept a plea deal. And the reason why, his ego is too big, and he's been in charge of everything of his life by himself. He's the guy that's been making the decisions. And he's probably making the decisions and doing a lot of things against his lawyers, which is a natural thing that happens. Because if I didn't do things at my last RICO indictment, if I didn't take legal action and started writing my own motions, and that the lawyers didn't want to do, but I did them. And what happened was the judge got to know who the hell I was. And I wrote things. My trial should have been in Los Angeles, not Brooklyn, New York. My peers are not in Brooklyn. I never lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Manhattan. I lived in Long Island, but I never lived in Brooklyn. All right? And I've been out here almost 50 years. So this is where my peers are. That's a big thing when it comes to trial. And that's the motion when I asked to be tried in Los Angeles that helped me immensely. And I wrote that motion, not a lawyer. Okay? No. I've been working on, I'll tell you my latest case. I have a neighbor next door. His daughter has got a particular cancer, and it's like every week she's at UCLA for something. And he didn't pay his rent in November. Then he asked the manager how much, he tried to pay it, they wouldn't take it because he owed late fees and this and that. He said, give me the number. They never gave him the number, November. And then because of the fact that he also drinks, months went by. In the meantime, he was served papers, but he didn't know he was served. And it came down to last week. the sheriff put an eviction notice on his door that he was supposed to be out today. But me, I said, let me figure this thing out. Court had to be in Santa Monica. I don't know why. They got a shortage of courtrooms, all right? And we got a nice courthouse here in Beverly Hills, and they don't use it. We had to go to Santa Monica. All right, so I bring him to Santa Monica. There's a place where you got to fill out all these papers. I'm helping him fill these papers out. Okay, one day, we've been there 4 times so far. And today, finally, they gave him a court date for tomorrow, which means the eviction notice has been upheld. And we are the ones responsible calling the sheriff's department. I told him, we were in the car, call him now. Call him now. He called and the number didn't even work. Me, I know how to go out, get around things, get the people. Boom, I called the police department in Beverly Hills. They gave me a number. I called that number. They gave me another number. It was downtown sheriff's department. And then they finally gave us the correct number. And we had to call the sheriff's department, who is responsible for this eviction notice. And now it's on wait until after the trial, of which now he's prepared to pay the entire rent, including the month of April. So that happens tomorrow. I'll give you an update on that. But another case, I want to tell you about this case. I have my best friend. His name is Paulie. I'll give you his name. Okay, Paulie is trained people with J.T. Fox. You know, you will probably know Paulie from J.T. Fox. Paulie is the most respectful individual you'll ever want to meet. He's the most honest individual, caring, giving, loving. Paulie's a great man. Now, he trained this one gal who lives out here, and she ended up finding a home on Beverly Glen, which is an exclusive area in Brentwood. It was $2 million, I forgot how much it was. And she bought it with J.T. Fox and his investors put the money up. Paulie advised him not to buy the house. Paulie was not part of this home. Not part of it. But he was helping the gal, and JT asked him, because she was the contractor was screwing her over. So Paulie came out, got rid of those contractors, got new contractors, helped the girl finish the house. But when, going back a little bit, the girl had a little money, JT she had to put up some money, and now they had to get the financing. Paulie had the people who were willing to finance it. But the girl's credit with her LLC was not sufficient. So they said, put Paulie on, then take him off. So she put Paulie on, she got the financing, but she forgot to take Paulie off. Thus, the guy buys a house at a steal. And I tell you, I saw this house. I was there while they were working on it. I know the work that went into it. This house was impeccable. Nothing wrong with it. But the guy who bought the house happens to be a lawyer. And he ends up suing. And he's suing Paulie, because Paulie's the only one involved who got the money. He began the lawsuit with close to $1.5 million. Now, Paulie, just to get rid of it, hey, I'll make a settlement with the guy. We don't have to pay the lawyers, this and that. In the meantime, I had to get him one lawyer. I got him this lawyer, okay? The worst lawyer. was referred to me by a friend. I'm ashamed. And the lawyer sounded good. Like most lawyers, they're freaking liars, they're bullshitters, and that's why we have a country that's upside down because of our lawyers. Everybody wants to run to a lawyer today. You don't know what the hell you're getting into because they're going to eat you up alive and spit you out. So you better really seriously, when you hire a lawyer, you better know who you're hiring, okay? So this lawyer said, oh, it's going to cost X number of dollars. Before you know it, he's at over $50,000, and there's been no depositions, no court dates, no nothing. So we had to get rid of that lawyer. Yeah, we got rid of him. And you know who you are, Brad. I see your name. I'm the guy who got rid of you. You know that. Replace him with another attorney who's really good. All right? Upcoming young man. It's going to be awesome. And he's handling the case. But one day I decided, I said, let me go visit this lawyer. He can't be a bad guy, right? So his office is on San Vicente Boulevard. I went over, sat down and met with him. He was a nice guy. So he seemed. I let him know who I was. And right away, I don't mess when I go talk to people because I know they're going to Google me. I said, look, I said, do yourself a favor. Google me so you know who I am right now. And he did. I said, I'm not here. No rush it, no nothing. I said, I want you to understand here. All right, you're spending money on a lawyer. Paulie's got to spend money on a lawyer. I says, and I get Paulie on the phone. And for over an hour, a beautiful conversation. And the guy agreed we shouldn't be paying these lawyers all this money, right? And Paulie says, you know, let's come up with a number and we'll settle the thing. The guy don't make a settlement. Not only does he not make a settlement, now they have a deposition, and Paulie's the first one they depose. And guess what? My name comes up. That I was a gangster that went there to intimidate this guy. Folks, that's what happens in my life. I knew that would happen. I'm prepared for it. And I want them to we're going to go to court on this case. Because they don't stand a shot. Guess what they just did? They just did another filing. Instead of the $1.5 million, now they want $2.5 million. This guy, we know exactly what he's doing. We don't know what the problem was in the beginning. We don't know. We're never going to know. Because he's got new contractors in there. He's remodeling the entire house differently than it was. And he's trying to get the money from Paulie. This is a scam lawsuit. And because he's a lawyer, he's probably not paying the other lawyer. So they're all working an angle where they get paid on what they get. Well, they're going to get nothing because we're going to go to court. And this gangster, Ori Spado, is going to be in court. Okay? Because I did nothing wrong. And Paulie did nothing wrong. Paulie had no part in that house except for one mistake that went. One mistake. And my friend is out now over $100,000 and it's going up. That's what could happen, folks, if you're not careful in what you're doing. Those are only two of the cases that I'm assisting people with on legal matters. Now, I know a lot of great attorneys, fortunate for that there. Another dear friend of mine. He owns a nightclub, a strip joint on Hollywood Boulevard. He owns the property that it sits on. He leased it out. He rents the property out. The guy, they rent the property out. The cops went there twice. Twice. Searched the place, found drugs, alcohol. They're not supposed to serve alcohol. They found alcohol. They found prostitution happening. You think they go after the people who are renting out? No. The city went after my friend who owns the property. He's sitting home. He's not at the nightclub. He just gets his rent once a month, like any landlord. But the city went after him. So he had to hire an attorney. So I had to get him a criminal attorney. We had to get him another lawyer for evictions because we had to evict the guys. And finally the whole thing comes to fruition after he put out, I forgot, it had to be over $50,000. Okay, whatever he put out, the guys, they made a deal, put a new name on the paper. They're still renting. Now I told him, he made a mistake. He should sell that property. He can get several millions of dollars if he sells that property. But for some reason, he thinks he's going to get younger instead of older, and he refuses to sell. But, now the police went there last week, shut off the water, the electricity, everything. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But, I put an awful lot of time into these situations of helping people out. I'm sure you all have some sort of problem and legal issues. The legal system is the most difficult system probably for an average person to maneuver. I mean, you got to do a lot of reading, a lot of studying, okay? And then you got to wait for your court dates, which don't come overnight because the courts are full. Now, with this eviction notice, it did come quickly, okay, only because he was supposed to be out today. So tomorrow he's got to pay, all right, the judge is going to say this guy's willing to pay the entire rent. Now, we tried 3 times to get in the hold of the lawyer who's handling it for the company that rents the property, asking how much do we owe. There's been no reply back, none at all. Tomorrow they're going to have to give us an answer of how much it is. Why are they not? They feel that they could get rid of him, remodel the apartment, and get a lot more money from somebody else. That's what renters, property owners are doing here in Los Angeles. That's what they think. These are people that own property, but if you drive through the streets of Los Angeles, you'll see business after business shut, properties vacant, office buildings vacant, and these properties, there's one been available for 10 years. A great restaurant. I used to go there in the corner of Doheny and Wilshire. And the landlord increases the rent to the point that the owner says, hey, don't make any sense to stay in business. So they close up. Property sat there for 10 years with nobody paying rent. Only because of the greedy landlord that thought, I'm going to get a lot more money. Guess what? He didn't. But I guess they got enough money, it doesn't bother them to take those kind of losses. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. but navigating criminal, civil, I don't care what kind of case it is, okay? The legal system, to navigate it, is the most complex thing. I mean, if you ever read a law book, you'll know what I mean. If you ever seen an indictment like I had, not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. Take it back, 4 times I've been indicted in my life, okay? If you read these indictments, the little numbers they put there, they all refer to something. You gotta look each one of those up to know what you're talking about and understand it. And this is why we have problems, because all your U.S. House of Representatives are basically all lawyers. Yeah, so that's why we have so many problems in this country. We need more average people, all right? Business people going and running for office. Less lawyers. Less. I wanted to share that with you folks. As usual, thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, share it, and don't forget, you want to learn more about me? Everything about me is in this book, okay? Everything. You go to Amazon, purchase my book, I guarantee you, you're going to say it's one of the best, well-written books you ever read. And every word is the truth. God bless you all. Have a great day.